CNBC TV 18 Weekender.
Welcome back. You're watching CNBC TV 18 Weekender. We are at the Prahlad School of Branding and Entrepreneurship. Prahlad, you launched this school in March this year and in association with Subhash Ghai's Whistling Wood International. What prompted you to enter into the education space?
Well, we've been mentoring kids for the last 25 years in a small office called Genesis.
Yeah.
And when we reached this critical mass of 250 to 300 great professionals who actually run the advertising business in this country, or 60% of it at least, we decided that why restrict it to only 5 or 6 people at a time because of space. So we came and asked Subhash Ghai whether we could, whether he could help us with the space. And he has this terrific campus, as you can see, and it's got all the facilities to make films. It's got all the facilities for sound recording. It's got also all the facilities for entrepreneurship and the whole works.
Sure.
So since we've got 2 verticals, and one is advertising, filmmaking, and branding, and one is entrepreneurship, they very kindly allowed us to share their campus with them.
So how does the relationship work with Whistling Woods?
We give them a certain percentage of our gross.
Okay.
And that works for both of us, because then we're not, if we get less students, then we're not stuck for money, because it's not a fixed amount.
Yeah.
And if we get more students, it's great for both of us.
Sure.
And we're going to be allowed onto the campus after 11:30 in the morning, when they finish most of their classes, so that we'll have a run of the place.
I saw and I've heard also that some of the activities that students here undergo, like, you know, some of them even include swimming with sharks, literally. I understand that this makes you different, this sets you apart from the other competitors in the space, but what are these activities actually aimed at?
They're life lessons.
Okay.
Like, for instance, take for instance horse riding. Why would anybody today learn to ride a horse when you got so many cars and scooters and things like that?
Sure.
You see, you're sitting on his back. Why would he want to listen to you?
Yeah.
Okay? It's a mind game. You have to convince the horse that you're smarter and stronger than he is.
Okay.
Okay? And you can only do it with your mind.
Yeah.
Okay? And with determination. And with training.
Yeah.
Okay? He's going to try and look for your biggest weakness, which is fear.
Yeah. So you're trying to remove that fear.
And the moment he smells the fear, he is not going to listen to you. So when you ride horses, the first thing when you climb onto this horse is what are you scared of? You're scared of falling. So once you are scared of, not scared of falling, because you've fallen, you got up, you got back onto the saddle. What does it teach you in life? Falling is an everyday thing. Failing is not a big deal.
You just need to get up and start again.
You need to get back and start all over again and not give up.
Yeah.
And it's a huge life lesson. In the Shastras and in the Vedic scriptures, the first lesson about learning is give up your ego. Do we actually manage to do that? Never. The only 2 things that make you give up your ego because you feel so small is one is the ocean and one is the mountains. When you go to the Himalayas, you say, oh shit, who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? Okay? And the other is the ocean. Say, what am I doing? Mummy, I want to go back. Okay? So once you deal with the ocean, you learn to let go. When you learn to let go, your whole learning opens up. Your whole mind opens up. Because it's the first time in your life, you're not saying, I know. You're coming out with a thing saying, I don't know.
Tell us, how many students have you already enrolled and how do you shortlist them? What's your selection criteria?
See, in my office we used to get all kinds of dropouts usually. Because all their parents used to get fed up with them and send them to for summer training. And say, we can't handle them, they dropped out of college, they've just come back from rehab, they're insubordinate, they're not listening to us, you please take them over. So I used to get all these slightly sort of misfitted young kids. And we then shaped them into very proud, very good professionals. We decided that we would not have this entrance criteria of who scored the highest, who scored the least. All rubbish. Okay. We only test them, we have a psychometric test on the capacity to take risk.
Okay.
So, and creativity. So
right.
If they're creative and they're willing to take risks, they're ours.
Okay.
If they're risk averse,
yeah.
if they're scared of taking risks, they're not ours. Then you're in. We don't want it.
So how many students have you got in your first batch?
So far we've got about 15.
Okay.
We're looking for about 50.
Okay.
And we'll manage, I think.
And you're also offering certificate courses, I believe. You haven't had a tie-up with any government or private institution.
We refuse to do that because our curriculum is so radical.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me taking this curriculum to the government and saying we're going to make...
But would you in the future?
What?
Once you prove your model of learning? No?
I'm not going to go to anybody. They'll have to come to us. My model of education is hands-on and full of excitement and adventure.
Yeah.
Because life is an adventure. And if you don't take it as an adventure, you're not living life.
Yeah.
And we want our kids to live life like the way we live life.
Yeah.
You know, a day at a time. Full hands, 100%.
So Prahlad, you know, it's been a long journey for you, close to 40 years since you entered advertising. A few lessons you would like to share.
One is that never do anything that you're not passionate about.
Okay.
And you don't believe in.
Okay.
Never do anything for money. Do it for value. The money will follow. Okay? Do it because people think you can't. Do it because it's a challenge. Do it because you're going to prove to yourself that I can. And do it because it just makes you feel on top of the world and makes you feel larger than life.
So, you know, how does one keep oneself motivated and get up and fight back while you're dealing with failures?
Because you're a dreamer. You have to be able to dream what you want in your life. And if you don't follow that dream, and if you're too scared, because you think, nahi hoga, ye hoga, fail ho jayenge, so what? You know, I mean, it's like looking at this chick every day in campus and saying, yeah, I wish I had the courage to go up and ask her for coffee. And every day you say that today I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And every day you chicken out. And many years
that's your story when you were young.
Yeah. And many years later you meet her, after she's married, you're married, everything. And she says, you know, I had such a big crush on you in college.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, so did I. And if you had come up to me, I would have been all yours. So nothing is gained and nothing is lost if you don't attempt it.
You own a film production house, a scuba diving school, restaurants, and now even an entrepreneurship school. What's next on your plate?
I'm going to build a ship.
Okay.
A good wooden sailing boat and follow the sun.
You've turned several of your hobbies and passions into
all
businesses.
my hobbies into business.
So what gets top billing? Who is Prahlad Kakar at heart?
Yeah, I'm an ad man, I'm a storyteller, I'm a dreamer, I'm an adventurer, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love a hint of danger. I love a challenge. I love people saying, you can't do it. I love people saying, by God, why did you even try? You know, and I love people saying that you actually did it.
All right, Prahlad Kakar, thank you so much for spending the day with us. We wish you the very best with your new venture. With that, it's a wrap on this special episode of CNBC TV 18 Weekender. From the entire team, goodbye and many thanks for watching.
CNBC TV 18 Weekender.